Hi, I'm Zwia Lipkin, an Israeli historian of China, now living in California. My father passed away unexpectedly in 2019. I was really looking forward to 2020, a year with a nice round number that promised a new beginning. But 2020 started with termites in our ceiling and rats in our attic. It continued with a global pandemic, followed by racial tensions, economic inequalities, and political disputes, not to mention historic storms, floods, and wildfires. Then, in the fall, as if all of that wasn't enough, my mother was diagnosed with advanced cancer and I couldn't go see her. An image popped into my mind that I had to turn into a quilt. I asked my daughters to pose, but they didn't want to. I had no choice but to do it myself. It felt awkward at first, but later I enjoyed using my body to express how I felt. I called the quilt 2020. As 2020 turned into 2021 and the pandemic went on, more overwhelming emotions emerged and a new series was born. I named it The State of Human. Equanimity expressed the disconnect between the burning world outside, both literally and figuratively, and the comfortable, safe bubbles we huddled in. Wake Up Humanity was a response to the torrent of natural disasters that happened all around and people's indifference to climate change. The pandemic showed once again how easily people can slip into savagery. Tread carefully is a reminder for all of us to make a conscious effort to choose right over wrong in each and every action and each and every moment. In May 2021, Israel was attacked by Hamas missiles. Shockingly, in the following days, the media was flooded with anti-Semitic discourse. Many American Jews, myself included, felt threatened by the tsunami of hate, betrayed by our own communities. Hateism expressed how I felt. It later occurred to me that many others felt the same. The pandemic brought out ugliness that was previously hidden, putting people of color, Asians, and other minorities at the center of attacks. In spring 21, vaccines became available, and I was able to visit my mom at last. The devastation of her illness was shocking. Loss expressed my sadness for the growing list of loved ones who disappeared from my life and the helplessness I felt seeing my mom about to join them. The pandemic made holes in our schedules, cut holes in our sense of time, caused widespread brain fog, and pierced holes in memories. It robbed us of loved ones, tearing holes in our social fabric and puncturing our hearts. Cut up, meaning very distressed or anguished, is about all these and more holes. Before the pandemic, we were in a rat race. In March 2020, everything changed. Plans got canceled, important tasks didn't seem that important anymore. Priorities shifted. What matters most is about the gift the pandemic gave us, the ability to peek through the curtain of distractions to see what was really important. In February 22, my mom got worse and I flew to see her. A couple of days into my visit, the war in Ukraine broke out. It jolted me like it did many others, being yet another world-shattering event in an ever-growing list of disasters. Disillusions was my response to the war. It describes the castles we build in the air, our plans, our daydreams, our hopes, our unfounded fantasies of things to come, versus the reality, the disillusions, the collapse of everything we assumed, our complete lack of control. As the old Yiddish proverb says, we make plans and God laughs. I stayed with my mom for a month, watching her fade. It soon became clear that her days were numbered and that this would be my last visit. As my world was collapsing in slow motion, I found myself strangely calm, able to support my mom and siblings. In the eye of a storm means to be at the center of disagreement. But in reality, an eye of a storm is the calmest place to be. Some people step out of shelters into an eye, thinking the storm is over, only to be caught by the strong winds in the eye wall. After my mom passed away in April, I too got caught in those winds. But that is a different story. Last fall, my second daughter joined her sister in college. Although I raised my children for this moment, her departure caused anxiety. The world has never been a safe place, especially for women, but now it feels even more unpredictable. It's a Perilous World describes the world I was sending my daughters into. A world affected by climate change, pollution, mass extinctions, pandemics, and wars, in a fractured, wounded nation where they, as women, have less rights than I had. We've all experienced grief in the last few years, for canceled plans, for a way of life that will never be the same, for people we lost. We talk about healing from grief, but after losing my parents in 3 short years, I feel that it is more like chronic pain. Always there, sometimes flaring up, sometimes dully throbbing as we go about our lives. Chasm is the last piece in this series. 3 short years, a world apart. Our lives aren't what they used to be. We ourselves have changed, some slightly, others profoundly. We experienced collective and personal hardships and grief, have evolved and grown. My parents supported my art ever since I was a little girl. I know they would have been happy to know that art helped me ride the turbulences of the last few years, and that it's helping me cope with the abyss of their loss. Art might not be able to heal the world, but it sure makes it a better place.